Salve a tutti, sono Almarocco e benvenuti in un nuovo video. Oggi siamo qui per fare un'intervista a Niclas Pepa, noto anche come Vassago, famoso per essere il chitarrista dei Lord Belial. Prima di iniziare lo ringrazio per la sua disponibilità, per aver accettato di essere qui oggi. Vi lascio l'intervista e vi auguro buona visione. Nice to meet you and thank you for staying today.
Thank you, Almarok, for this interview. Thank you very much.
Why you started to do music? Told me about the beginning of your career and the beginning of Lord Belial.
I think, yes, every artist, we have something inside of us that needs to be expressed. And some artists express themselves with painting, others with sculpture, others with words. And, for us, it was natural to express ourselves through music. I think the music that came out at the time, it was our own music, and it has always been like that. So, of course, you get inspired by other people because it is impossible to not listen to music because at that stage in life, you listen to a lot, and what you listen to, I suppose, reflects upon your own work. Yeah. But then later in life, you kind of stagnate in your taste, and I think the artistic expression becomes more and more what you have to say as an artist, more than being inspired by other people. It becomes more and more your own expression.
Let's talk about the evolution of the Lord Belial album from sound, inspiration, lyrics, from the start at today.
Oh yeah, from the start, with Kiss the Goat, we were in a studio that was new to us, and we had heard about this guy that he should be great to work with, and I have no idea what he's doing today, but apparently he's a major producer for many record companies, and I think he has made a name for himself. Unfortunately, I don't remember his name. Danne something. Yeah, it's not Don Swan. No, it was another guy. But yeah, he was great to work with, and we were impressed at that time, because we came from a totally analog rehearsal room with just analog drums and analog guitars and just amplifiers and stacks, and into this professional studio where we could actually see on his computer screen dots of the drums where we could change the beat of every drum, which was new to us at that time, because this was in 1993, I think, 1992, 1993, something like that. And so it was a new experience for us because the studio that we used when we recorded a demo tape was also analog. So we just put mics there and we played it live. And, so it was a live recording in a studio. So this was the first time that we could, put guitar after guitar after guitar like that. And also to actually put the vocals after the guitars, etc. And that was a new experience. But then it became kind of standardized. The second album was with Studio Fredman in Gothenburg, and he was not our cup of tea to work with. He was kind of from another social ladder, so to say, and Thomas and Mick, they didn't really like him that much, and so it was a clinch when we mixed the album, and at some point we actually had to cut the tape. I mean, the tape for the recording was cut by hand by me, with a scissor, and we taped it together. And in the end, because that was normal at the time, we thought it normal to cut it with the scissor and tape. And then the third album, we entered the studio with Andy LaRocque from King Diamond, and he had a similar setup, but he used a digital tool that kind of cuts digitally, not analogly. So that was a major step up. And the fourth recording, we decided that we liked Andy very much. So we asked him again if we could use his recording studio. And by then, he had shifted to digital discs already. So the cutting of the tape and then with the scissor, etc., it was in the past. So now we could cut digitally, and that was incredible. I mean, that feeling when you could, uh, click pause and then take it from the beginning, and it didn't matter. That was absolutely fantastic. And then everybody started to do that. So it became home studios everywhere with, digital recording everywhere. So I think on the sixth album, we used a friend of ours and his home studio. We kind of liked that sound. We did at that time. It didn't receive much great criticism, but we liked it. So we were a little bit surprised that the people didn't like it. And then there was a long pause, and we then, the two last albums have been with Andler Rock again. So he has this studio in Varberg in the west of Sweden. It is about 4 hours drive for me, and he has really excelled in his studio with new microphones, and he has this, recording room where we record the drums, the vocals, the guitars, etc. So we can really dive deep into every setup of every drum, and before we even start to record the drums. So it has shifted from playing live in a studio to be able to click to make a cut wherever you want to, because now you use Pro Tools in these days. We've been using Pro Tools for 20 years maybe, but I mean, it has become a way to work these days. So even when we do the demo tape before entering the studio, we also use Pro Tools in our own studios. So Thomas even has one at home, and then we have one in the rehearsal room as well. So it has changed dramatically in equipment, and also with the possibility to change the guitar sound. I mean, in the beginning, I had crap, what everybody was playing on. I tried Fender tops, PV tops, Marshall tops. It wasn't much on the market at that time. And the effects for the guitar were also extremely limited. We could have these Ibanez, the green tube screamer, or the double distortion, or the mega distortion, the orange or the red. So it's green, orange, red, and then combine them all, and then try to find their own guitar sound. It was impossible. Dismember did it beautifully. They used the orange one and just put everything at maximum, and it sounds incredible. I love Dismember. You know, they really found their guitar sound, and they have stuck with it. They use that sound because it symbolizes Dismember in a way. But we are still experimenting with our guitar sound. I've used Mesa Boogie for the last album, Rapture. I mean, the second last, Rapture. I used Mesa Boogie, and I really like that sound. But now on this Unholy Trinity, we used a variety of guitar setups. We even tried a new guitar top called Zuta, and it's from a guy that we know from Gothenburg. He has his own brand, and he has a factory in Macedonia where he manufactures these Zuta tops, and they sound incredible, I think. You know, with string separation, even though you play extreme power chords, you have string separation in the sound. And that was something new for me, because when you use, for example, Kemper Profiler, you get that it's not much string separation. You get the sound, but you can't hear the chord. So yeah, it has varied quite a bit on the journey to where we are today.
After the Black Curse, Bloodlord decided to leave from Lord Belial. How is significantly from the band lost one of the founding members, and what is changed in the band after his departure, and why he decided to leave?
It was, you know, during a time when we all had a personal break from everything and focused on our families. And he got married, had children, and one or two of the children, they had serious problems, so he had to focus on his family. And then he started his own studio. So he tried to work as a you know, the guy that drives the big tractor at the plant where people put their trash. He was working as that, and then in his spare time, he was working with his studio and tried to make his studio work. So yeah, so he does some recordings for friends when he has the time. It's not that serious, but because he has a daytime job, you know, from 7 to 5, like everybody else. And then he got involved in another band, and he decided to stay there. And for us, it wasn't the problem at the time because we weren't active. So, but then when we started up again, we asked him, and he said no. He had, I don't have the time, and I don't think you guys are going to be serious and continue playing anyway. So, but we did. So we had to cope without him, and it wasn't the same because he added a touch of his own brilliance. You know, I really like Anders. He's a true friend of mine, and we are still in touch. And I wish him all the best in his future endeavors. However, playing the bass like he does, we kind of did it all three of us. So we put the bass, all three of us, and kind of said that this is typically Anders. This is how he would do it, you know.
Let's talk about your most controversial song, Purify Sweden. I read more fanzine, more articles accusing Lord Belial of racism for this song, but what is the very significance of that song?
I was not involved in making that. Neither was Anders. Neither was Micke. It was all. I mean, I played the guitar and Mickey played the drums, but uh, the foundation of the song was all Thomas' idea. Uh, he was extremely upset at the time. He was very angry at everything, not just, a particular group of religious people, but religion in general, and religion on the world stage, and how it affects politics and people, and how it shapes nationalities, identities, things like that, that nobody is ever themselves. They are always stuck with some sort of religion. So you can never express your own true self because you have to be bound to some sort of dogma. So he said, fuck off to that. And yeah, so purify it in a way that zero everything and purify it, let it be, so, but it can be interpreted as targeted at a particular religious group. And at that time in Sweden, that was taboo. So the record company, they were very upset and said that this is a far right song and we will not release it. And we said, it's not at all far right. It is anti-religion. But the record company, they stood their ground and they said, if you release this, you will have to do it on your own. So we did. Yeah. And then we said, fuck off to that record label, and said, we will find someone else to work with, which we did. And they are great, I think. Hammerheart Records have been extremely supportive, and they support artistic freedom, and we are allowed to do whatever we want to do, almost.
Kiss the Goat and Enter the Moonlight Gates are considered two of the most important albums in the Swedish scene. What do you think about this?
I think when we did Kiss the Goat, we kind of tried to make something new, and we didn't want to use synthesizers like everybody else did to create an ambient atmosphere. So we decided to use only analog instruments. And I don't know why we were so personally. It was like uh, a thing, it became like a thing that we will never use synthesizers. And we said that in interviews, etc. Never synthesizer in Lord Belial, only real instruments, etc. As we did Enter the Moonlight Gate, we continued in that vein. And we wanted to have cello, and trumpets, and create an atmosphere with lots of reverb, and only acoustic guitars, and maybe 12-string guitars, and we used these huge drums that they have in a big band. We tried to make it big, like we were in a cave, without using fake instruments. It should be true instruments all the way, and sound like we were in a big room, and I think we managed to do that. And then the song, a particular song, Lamia, it was a salute to something, that we feel very strongly about, the feminist side of things, and how the ultimate figure for us in femininity would be and would appear for us. And then later on, when Thomas had a child, he actually named her Lamia, in respect of that song as well.
How you remember about Nisse Carlen? Your best memories about the singer of Sacramento?
I was a member of Sacramento for a couple of years, and I played on 3 albums. Actually, I played the guitar on 3 albums, and I was on tour with them many times, or many, but at least 3 or 4 times. And then we did gigs, every now and then. and he was a personal friend of mine from 1990. So we have known each other for a very long time, and we lived neighbors in Gothenburg. We hanged out almost every day for almost 20 years, and but the last 5 years, we didn't have that much contact, and we met only perhaps maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and we didn't talk that much in between. So because he was very preoccupied with his projects, and so were I. And it becomes like that when you grow older and you have your own families, and your parents start to die, and you focus on work, etc. The daily grind kind of wears you down a bit, so it's not the same as it was 20 years ago. And but my best memories of him, they are uh, from a cabin in Norway where me and him and a guy called Jon, who used to play the guitar for Old Man's Child. We were at Jon's house up in the Norwegian wilderness, just the three of us, and we drank so much beer and had so much fun. Just three guys in a cabin out in the snow, with beer and frozen pizza and music. I think that was one of the best times ever, actually, because we could be ourselves 100%, and we were running around naked in the snow, screaming in the middle of the night. And yeah, it was a great time. Great. I think we were there for almost 2 weeks, so it became ridiculously insane at times. Yeah.
And now I want to talk about another great artist of the Swedish scene, John Novint.
Yeah, me and you, we were also neighbors for a couple of years. When they did Storm of the Light Spain, he asked me about the lyrics because I am a teacher in English, and he asked me about grammar, etc., for that album. And yeah, I made some small corrections, nothing artistically. And Yoon, he was pleased with that. And then we started another kind of separate group at the time, where we were four people. There was me, Nisse, Jon, and Johan Norman, and then another guy whose name I will not mention. And we set out, as a private club to dwell in deeper things. But then the fourth guy, he wanted something completely different, so I left, and then Nisse left, and then Johan left, and it was only Johan and that other guy left in that group. And then we kind of parted ways, and then everything bad happened, and we didn't have much contact, just a few letters when he was in jail. And when he was released, we met up, and he was a cool guy. He was just happy and fooling around like he used to do in the old times, and everything seemed quite okay. And we met at the gig in Stockholm, and it was he seemed to be like he used to be before all that shit happened. So I was very surprised, actually, when he ended it the way he did. A very long time ago, but it was called MLO.
If you want to be remembered for an album in your career, an album you're particularly proud, which is and why?
Ooh, when we did Unholy Crusade, I had extreme visions and extreme dreams of that album. And the beginning should be like army marching towards the listener, and then the trumpet sound, like a blast that breaks down the walls, like in the Bible, and then the guitar comes up and moves into the sound picture, and then all hell breaks loose like that. And in retrospect, that did not happen. It was just an odd mix of sounds, and I think the outcome was not at all what I had in my mind and what I envisioned from the beginning. And also the artwork for that album was, time pressed. So we were pressed of time, and we didn't have any artwork, and we could actually have had taken a photo just that would have been better. But then the record company, they said that no, this cover, this artwork, it will speak the truth about what's on the album, and it will be good for you. And unfortunately, we listened to that, and I really dislike that artwork, and I really dislike the sound of the album, unfortunately. So I have never, or maybe once or twice, listened to that album, Unholy Crusade. But then there are songs on there that we played live for many years, and so the songs, I like the songs, but not the album. Yeah.
What about the Lord Belial project for 2026 and your personal projects?
Right now, everything for me is on hold because I have so much else going on in my life, and uh, it is the same with Micke. He's one of my best friends, or he is my best friend, I would say, and Thomas as well. We just attended Thomas and his wife's 50th birthday, so then we met up and we discussed a few things. And Thomas, he has another project which he works with. It's more death metal, and they just released an album, I think, and I haven't even had the time to listen to it. He sent me the link for Spotify, and I have not been in a state of mind where I can sit down and listen to it even. So for me right now, it is a very stressful time because so much else is going on in my life. I rehearse with my son in our basement quite a bit because he's very much into battery and he wants to learn the battery songs. So I teach him that on the guitar and also on the drums. So I have a small studio in my basement in the house. But as for a recording with Lord Belial, I have many ideas, but none of them, because our recording studio is 1.5 hour drive for me, and it is in Micke's office where he works every day. So for him, it's easy, he can just walk 3 meters and he's inside the studio. But for me, it would take quite a lot of energy. It's like 3 hours in the car and driving through snow, etc. And then when I get back home, it's late in the night, and because I work, the daily grind, it grinds me down at the moment, unfortunately. So I don't have that much energy at this very minute, but I look forward to maybe it will shift when the snow melts and summer is here, etc. So I hope it will change because I have many ideas, and I wish to show the others, the other two. So But on the other hand, Thomas, I think he has maybe 30 new songs, that are incredible. So he is very productive at the moment because he's on sick leave, has been for 2 years because of mental health problems and a serious depression. So I was quite worried for quite a while there. But he seems to have gotten over it, and he's out on the other side at the present. And but still, he refuses contact with the outside world, and he is very limited in his circle. So there's not much party like in the old days when we were 20 people every day drinking beer every single day. It's not that time anymore, unfortunately. We all have families and houses and jobs, or at least we try to keep on to the jobs, so we can pay bills, etc. So the life of a modern rock star, it's it's not at all rock starry.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for staying today. Good luck for all. Bye.
It was very nice to meet you, Almarok. I'm sorry we didn't do it sooner. Uh, Sometimes you expect something from the other side, and sometimes you get shocked because many times the questions are hostile. When I am in a fragile state of mind, I can be. It is very draining of energy when you are met with hostile questions. So, but you were very likable, and I really enjoyed this meeting.